Anish Giri has just defeated Salem Saleh in round two of Geneva Grand Prix. Anish, the analysis lasted almost as long as the game.
Yeah, okay, the thing is, in this tournament, unlike usual strong tournaments, there is a pairing known, but here it's not known, so there's nothing to do anyway. So I decided I'll just look at my game, because usually I don't do it because, you know, I have a routine and there's pairing, but yeah, now there's no pairing. Yesterday I was bored to death, so I decided to analyze the game, and also it was an interesting game. I'm pretty sure we played very badly, but in our defense, position was very, very complicated. I mean, whenever this bishop g5 stuff happens, it's always extremely risky for white. But I won once game against Pavel Adrianov. You know, these structures where after bishop g5, usually you go h6 g5, and bishop is out of play, but or I take it sometimes, like in the game, and I have bishop pair. But on the other hand, my kingside is always weakened, and for engine it doesn't play a role very often. But in the practical game, you know, one active move on the kingside can lead to a heart attack. So I think it's very very double-edged, and yeah, I thought at some point it must have been better. Then it got simplified, but at least I felt you know, I have some issues to solve with the c3 pawn, and then fortunately he got low on time, because in the first half of the game I was low on time, and then when he got low on time I felt a bit more confident about things, because I started seeing some ways for him to go wrong, and finally he tried to defend the queenside instead of just going for some counterplay, which would have been more unpleasant. But after he started defending queenside, yeah, I forced this queen exchange, and in the endgame his pawns are collapsing.
You mentioned the difference between Swiss system and Berger system. Is there anything else that affects the player's strategy?
Yeah, it's very different, because the thing about here is when you're in minus, at least you get people who are in minus. Whereas when you're in minus in elite tournament, I mean, this is also elite tournament, you know, closed elite tournament, then very often you are in minus, and then you get some guy who is on +3, and then he's coming again, it hits you even deeper. And yeah, I mean, here you sort of see, like, after a few rounds, all these guys who are down, I don't know if I'll be one of them or not, but they start playing each other, and then they start getting some points. Yeah, I think it's more fun. The only problem is that, of course, at some point you get some happy Shahryar who is on +1, +2, and he's going to start making all the draws, and his opponents are also happy. And you're going to see again the same thing like we saw in the first two, that Shahryar is sitting there with +2 and making all the draws in the most disgusting way possible. But okay, he's on +1 now, yeah, our Shahryar. So yeah, you can't complain. I mean, Shahryar is playing well. But of course, once he will reach +2, he will start his thing.
Okay, is this your first time in Geneva? How do you like the place?
Actually not. I've been here as a kid. I was giving a simul here once. So I've seen the city. Okay, this impressive thing, I forgot how it's called, that, you know, shoots the water up. That is very impressive, and I also remember I was also shocked because I knew some 5-star hotels before as a kid, but then I saw 5-star hotels like one after another, you know, like you have like one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and it goes on and on. And I remember I was just thinking, like, okay, where is it ending? Yeah, I mean, it's a very impressive place, and I think the average income per person is insanely high here, because otherwise you cannot live. I mean, you just, you know, I have generous support from Dutch Federation and my sponsor Optiver. But if I didn't, this Grand Prix series in Moscow, center of Moscow and center of Geneva, it just let me completely bankrupt. I don't know how players who don't have sponsors, how they are able to bring the seconds, because I mean, the hotel costs insane, the food costs insane. And yeah, as I said, I have sponsors, so I'm enjoying myself. But some players who don't, they're really doing some investments.
And you mentioned second, who is helping you here?
Erwin Lamy is helping me here. He's helped me.
How long do you work together?
Yeah, I don't know, but last couple years, well, last year extremely intensively already, but already we know each other very long, because since I moved to Holland, he was always a player. We started collaborating a long time ago, but it got a lot more intensive lately, and yeah, I think we're being a good team.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll speak in next round.